I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. Who else is a more patriotic American than these fine folks? I mean, other than maybe Colonel Sanders, because his chicken is tinger flicking good. Or finger sticking good. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. They're definitely better than that Bernie Sanders guy. Can you believe I beat that guy in an election? I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. As the President of America, I just want to say Jim Jar are cool cats. I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. Anyways, I gotta go. I have to go to deliver some tanks or something to that President Zelensky guy. Peace out, hooliganies.
Good morning. Good morning, Norman. You scared me this morning. You typed in the comment section, said sound. I'm like, oh no, is the sound not working? Oh my gosh. I was all scared there for a minute that the sound wasn't working. I played the video. The sound is okay, I think. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know yet. We'll see. My audio, man. Audio is like the killer around here. I hate it. So yeah. How are you guys doing today? I'm good. ContraPoints just came out with a new video called The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. So I've been trying to watch that as fast as possible because when she does her videos, they're like essays, like spoken word essays and stuff. So she can go on for like, I think that video is like 2 hours and I'm trying to get through it and I'm only like almost halfway done. So working on it. Sounds perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. That audio every day, man. Every day I'm always like, all right, how do I fix the audio? Is there something I can do different? Because I got to carry around this stupid mic everywhere I go. And this mic is like heavy as shit. Here. It's huge. I got to carry that bad boy around all the time. And so when I'm like gaming and I'm, oh no. See, this is what happens every freaking day. My camera was unplugged and now I've got to I plugged it back in. Pro webcam. Come on. Sorry, you guys. It's trying to say that it's unplugged, but yeah, you're plugged in, bro. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't know why my mic's not working. Start cam. Come on. There we go. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, if it's not one thing, it's another. Never-ending story of my life. Good morning. Woo. What a morning. It's already starting bad. What the hell? Anyways, so I've been watching that. That's been really interesting, trying to get, perspectives of the whole, because I love like J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter is part of my history and my childhood. So jiggle the wires. For real. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's all bad. But that's so I've been watching that. That's been really interesting to see her side of things. So I won't put you guys through that because that is 2 hours just by itself. and we got some other things that we can talk about. Yesterday was a lot of fun with the show. I didn't realize, like, by the end of the show, when it was all done, and I was thinking over, like, okay, how the show went, what was I talking about okay stuff, like, going through my document, because every day I have like a doc set up with links and stuff, so that way I can just show things. And when I'm done at the end of the day with my show, I delete the ones that I've talked about, save the ones that I haven't talked about yet, and then add to those. And I was like, man, the show yesterday was like, it had really good consistency when it talked about, like, like the whole theme of the show was really cool yesterday, and I really enjoyed that, talking about, how the government and the media both work together to manipulate and propagandize us, and how we need to stop falling for that, and how that all works. And that was just really, really cool. So I was trying to figure out a way today to keep it that consistency, but there's just a lot of different things going on and stuff. What's up, Desert? Thanks for coming by. You guys are awesome. Look at you guys. Man, I was so nervous too yesterday because I had like 15 people watching me. So I got like super, super nervous at some point because I know yesterday I was just rah, 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 rah. And that's what happens when I get really nervous, is I just start yapping. And I had like 15 people watching at one point, and I got super, super nervous. And so I was like, I was sitting there today, and or sitting here in my bed this morning when I woke up, and I was like, damn, Jimmy, you got 15 people watching you. You don't need to do a show. You fucking succeeded. You're like a star now or something, to myself. And I'm like, Jimmy, come on. You can't keep doing this to yourself. Like, every time you do good, you go off and you hide. Like, every fucking time I do something really good, I hide for like 2 weeks afterwards. And I fucking hate myself for that. I don't know what kind of like self-sabotage thing I do to myself. I don't know what it is, but I do it every fucking time. I'm like, you did good, Jimmy. You did really good. Now it's time to go hide for a little while. So I was like, all right, Jimmy, you're just gonna do the show today. Don't go and hide just because you thought you did really good yesterday. Like, it's like that momentum thing, all that. I was like, all right, I gotta keep it going. So yeah. What's up? Oh, Brandy, you changed your name. Nice. I like it. It's your that's your Twitter name. So that's cool. I like that a lot. What's up, Rick? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Brandy, I downloaded the graphics driver yesterday, and it seems to work. So I played some Fortnite last night, and the graphics were amazing. Like, the graphics were right back to normal. And so the reason why I needed the graphics card update driver update, was because I've been playing, I hate myself for it, the game that shall not be named. And right as soon as I double click the game to start it, I get this little pop-up that says that my driver is not up to date, and I need to do that. And so when I played the game, I mean, the graphics are okay. They're not bad. They were, my computer can, like, handle the graphics pretty much, and has been. And so I was like, well, maybe I can make the graphics even better with this game by doing that. Maybe I'm missing like how good the graphics are in this game because of the driver not being updated. So I did that, and I updated it and all that. Hey, stop fighting. And like I said, the Fortnite was really good, but the game that shall not be named, bad Jimmy. The graphics were worse. It was way, way worse. Like, that update just ended up making my graphics really bad. At least before the update in that game, like, the graphics were okay. Like, there was, highlights and shadows, and you can see everything. Now, when I played the game for like 10 minutes yesterday, everything was fuzzy. Like, their face was fuzzy, their clothes were fuzzy, and then it would try to like glitch into where it worked, and then the scene would change and it would be back to being fuzzy again. It's like the graphics couldn't keep up with the movement of the video game. So I don't know. Like I said, Fortnite worked really well, worked amazingly. It was beautiful. Like, the graphics seemed a lot better, and it kept up. I had no lag, no problem, whatever. But the other game, I did have some problems. I'm not sure if I downloaded it correctly. It said I downloaded it, and I even downloaded the app, and it said that I'm up to date and everything. So I don't know. You're so funny, Norman. I want. Are you guys? Is Norman writing his comments and then deleting them? Because that's what's so great about Streamyard. Like when Norman deletes his comments, I can still see them because it's StreamYard. He says my comments appear on screen and then sync out to the kitchen, which is what he does. You'll be streaming on your own account soon. That's why you changed your name. I thought I heard something about you're going off and doing your own show. I hope nothing like bad happened with all of that, and you can get your own show going. Let me know if you want to get something started, and I can help you out with like the production part of all of it if you need the help. Just let me know. I'm here for you, girl. So I got you. I got you, boo. I can help you out if you need it. And if you ever want to come on here too, onto like my stream and like promote your show and all of that, and then come and talk about the news and promote it, I got you, boo. I got you, boo. Owner of several Harry Potter Norman castles, coast of France. Oh, you own a lot of the Harry Potter castles out there. That would be cool. I would like to go to one of those castles, like the the ones out there in like Scotland or Ireland. Oh man, there's a girl on TikTok, or not a girl, a woman. There's a woman on TikTok. She's like, poor like us, like regular, under middle class, barely able to survive. This woman went to another country and bought a fucking castle. She literally bought a castle with her taxes. Like, how certain people make so less money that they can get their taxes back. And then, you can get money back in your taxes. And if you have kids, you get like extra money and stuff. I think she has like 2 kids or something. And with that year's taxes, she traveled to this country and bought a castle. And she says that cost less than moving to another town in her state and renting an apartment. She said it was way cheaper. Way cheaper. I'm like, sign me up. I want to go live as fucking Rapunzel. Leave me in a castle somewhere for the rest of my life. As long as I've got Wi-Fi, I will never fucking leave. I promise. Just kidnap me and take me to a castle like Sleeping Beauty or something, like Belle. I will be Belle. Like, if there is a beast out there that wants to kidnap, that has a castle with Wi-Fi, hook it up. I'm on it. But yeah, I know. It's so funny is like everything, with the ContraPoints coming out with her little essay video on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. It seems like Harry Potter is coming back again. So it's just constantly in the news, and it really sucks too, because it's so hard. Like I really, I respect my trans community and my trans friends and all of that, and I want to respect them so much, but it's like one of those, the HP world, the J.K. Rowling world is like so ingrained into some of our childhoods that it's so hard to leave it and leave it alone. That's the hard part. That's why I haven't really talked about it, is because I can't seem to get myself to stop. I love it so much. I've separated myself from J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. That's what I've done. I've separated the two because when I was growing up and I was reading those books and I was going to the movies and doing all the stuff, that all kids do when they got into the series. I didn't look at who the writer was, or who I didn't research all of that. Like, to me, it wasn't about the writer, it was about the books. Like, all I knew about the writer at that time was that it was some woman who was like living next to a dumpster in an alleyway, and she wrote these books, and then she got famous because she wrote these books. Like, good on her. Okay, that's it. That's all I knew about her. But to me, it was the books. It was the escapism, the familiarness of the characters and the story and how the story goes. And, just, it really like connected to my soul. And yeah, it's so hard. Like, cause like I said, I really respect my community, the community that I know and the people I know, but that part is just so hard for me to like, to give up in my life. That would be like asking me to give up Nightmare Before Christmas or Tim Burton, like I got the Fools tattooed, like stuff tattooed on me, and you're going to ask me to give up Tim Burton. Like, I know he can get like violent rages, and he's not really like the best dude in the world. I get it, but Oh, yeah, it's such, maybe one day I'll talk about it. Maybe Brandy, maybe you want to come, maybe you want to come on and we could talk about it. That'd be fun. But we are two cis, technically straight females because we're married to men. So I don't know what our input would really benefit. So yeah. Anyways, I can't afford the property taxes on my castle. They went up again. Oh, I love it though. Imagine being able to swim in the moat 8 hours a day at your castle during the hot Scottish summers. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. Somebody kidnap me, please, that has a castle. I'm begging to be kidnapped. Yeah, Randy, Desert makes a good point. Like, I'm gonna watch your channel, so definitely put your new channel's name or something. Like, give me the link, because I don't know if you're modded on here or not, because I'm looking through your guys' comments through StreamYard, so I can't tell if anyone's modded or not. So if you're not modded, send the link to me in the chat, like in a Facebook chat, and then I'll set it up, and then they can go onto yours and push on it and subscribe to you. You'll come on with me? Yay. All right. Awesome. Girly takeover. That's what we'll do. Your Adriatic coastal castle's taxes free, but he has to pay for maintenance on my land castle. I want a castle, you guys. Hook it up. One day. One of these days. All right. So what do we got for today? Let's see. Okay, it is under your name. Okay. And you're modded. All right, you guys. So Brandy right here, just go ahead and click on her thing, and then that's going to be her channel for her show. And go give her a subscribe. That way y'all don't miss it. Here, let me I gotta get it into there too, into the comment section too. That way, and I hate hearing myself. Okay. Go to channel, subscribe. All right, you did it. You know what I've been noticing too, because I know you have a lot of, okay, you've already been doing it. Cool. You have a lot of kitty cats, and I know that you love taking video and pictures of them and stuff like that. From what I've been noticing, what is it called? Like the trending section, like a lot of like the videos in the YouTube shorts that are getting a lot of the views are cat videos, animal pet videos. So, you know, even though you do your show, like get some of those shorts up, because shorts is where it's at, and shorts are monetized now too as well. So if you can get yourself some subscribers from your shorts, then you'll eventually, once you get to 1,000 subscribers, you'll be able to get monetized on your shorts as well, which will be, that like adds to it. I know we need to do it here at KRTD. I'm so lazy. I need an extra person. That's what it is. Like, I do my show and it's so hard, and I do it all by myself, that like the clipping up afterwards is just like that extra step that I just can't take. I can't do it. It's so hard. Yeah, do the shorts. Yeah. Do shorts for sure. Shorts is where it's at. Definitely is monetized now, and that's where a lot of people are making a lot of their money and getting a lot of the views at, because TikTok is still like big. It's, you know, those short 1-minute clips and stuff is still a big thing. So YouTube having the shorts on there is really where it's at. I'm just noticing, like, because even the stuff that Warren puts out, you know, we'll get like a couple hundred views on the video, but then he'll throw up like a 1-minute clip out of it, and it'll get like 500-600 views. So that's what, yeah, do it with your animals and your pets, because YouTube loves that shit, loves pets. So that's what you're doing with D. That's what we were doing with D, but you're going, I know, I want to know what happened. I hope you guys are okay and everything's good, because that sucks. I'm sorry. Poor thing. Miss Lady. Don't even start. Those are chickens out there making the noise. All right. Okay. So I want to get through some of the stories that I had yesterday. Let's see. I can make berets for animal. Hopper has one. We could do a pet in red berets montage. That would be so cute. Look at that, Brandy. Michelle's wanting to hook it up. That would be cute, because you and Michelle almost have like that Southern twang sound together. And I think with the way that you could tell like just barely the difference between your guys' twangs, the accents that you guys have. Oh, you guys do a show together and call it like Country Girls, or like, like take on the accent and turn it into a show to where people are like, oh, these are the two girls with the country accents. Like, that's fucking cool. That would be cool. You two should do, man. I just thought about that. Michelle and Brandy, your guys' accents, I'm telling you, together. That would be wild. All right, so let's see what I got. Brandy says, love it, Michelle. You guys gotta get together. She's from Texas. Okay. Yeah, and you're Arkansas, right, Brandy? Or I think you're Arkansas, because I have a friend, Sally, who's from Alabama, and I don't get you two mixed up. I get where you two live mixed up. I think it's the A thing. I don't know. You wish you were country. Cool. Oh man, I love listening to it. But like when I listen to it, I start to sound like it because my family is from Oklahoma. So I'm the first generation born in California. My mom and my grandma and stuff were all born in Oklahoma. So growing up with them, there was still like that I don't know what you call it, the accent, the Oklahoma accent, I guess you call it. And like, so instead of, when I was told to go like do the dishes, it was, wash the dishes instead of wash the dishes. So I spent a lot of my younger years not having that accent, trying not to have it, just because I was like, I didn't want to be the odd one out in school with this, accent. And I didn't want to stand out and be the weird one. So I, trying to learn the California accent, and I ended up having it, but when I hear people with the other, like with Southern accents and stuff, sometimes it just comes out and I hate myself for it. Like I stick my foot in my mouth and I'm like, I just said something to Oklahoma. Fuck my life, yeah, Arkansas. That's what I thought. Okay. Castle Talk reminded me of a YouTube video that I couldn't figure out the first time I watched it. The title is Scottish Museum Guide Doesn't Give a okay. It's embarrassing. No way. It's unique. It's different. That's what I love about it. I love your guys' accent. It reminds me of home. So when I hear it, I'm just like, home. Yours is Oklahoma and Arkansas. That's what I figure. Okay, I thought it was Arkansas. Yeah. I haven't heard the Oklahoma in you yet, though, but maybe I need to talk to you a little bit more. So you lived in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma for 11 years. See, I've never been to Oklahoma. So I grew up seeing pictures of my family and my grandma's side of the family, and they all still lived out in Oklahoma at the time. But I think my mom says she took me there when I was a baby. So I guess I've been there. I just don't remember it. So, and I can't say that I can't count it if I don't remember it, because I yell at my kid all the time that she's gone to Disneyland and she said she was so young that she doesn't remember it, so it doesn't count. And I says it does count. So, ha. Texas, Louisiana. Ooh, you got that Louisiana in there too. I love the Louisiana accent. I think it's cool because it's so neat, is like, cuz in those southern states, you've got like very prominent racist white areas too, but you've got, the people of color sections as well. Like, and I really love the y'all thing, because even though it's supposed to be like this southern, racist white people thing, like the black community in like Louisiana and shit has taken it over, and they say y'all now too. So like everybody still, I think just this week somebody was like, we got to stop Jimmy saying y'all, and I'm like, but it's cool now. Like Louisiana's taking it over. It's not just like this white people thing, and it doesn't, to me it doesn't sound too much like of a white, like, what is it, like a horseback rider cowboy type sound anymore. To me it's fucking cool now. So I love it. Your grandma was from Oklahoma. She would say yawns instead of y'all. You say y'all. Yeah, I like y'all. I don't think there's anything wrong with it anymore. I, for a really long time, years, tried not to say y'all. And I got so tired of saying you all or everybody or I can't even, I think it was just you all and everybody or everyone, those kind of things. Y'all just sound so much better. It does. It really does. I hate myself for it, but it really does sound better. So, yep. Y'all is in. That's right. That's right. Y'all is cool now. I'm telling you, it's not uncool anymore. We can say y'all. I'm not even joking. It's great. Okay, let's get started. Thank you guys for wasting the first 25 minutes of the show. You guys are awesome. Love y'all. Exactly. That's awesome. Hell yeah. They owe me rents for my inland Norman castle. There'll be more earthquakes. Fucking Norman. He's so great. He's all up in the comment section just saying some random ass shit. That's the extra Todd. I wasn't trying to say something negative below the radar. I get misunderstood sometimes. Uh-oh, what? Oh, yeah. The museum one, museum guide, Scottish museum guide doesn't give a... Yeah, I'll have to look into that and see what it is. Because I have no idea what that is, so... We all say y'all down here. And yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's getting cool. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Speaking of the South, let's go to Florida. We'll start with DeSantis. So, did you hear that DeSantis is fighting with Mickey Mouse? Hilarious. So, DeSantis seeks to use more state power targeting Walt Disney World. Now, this is the kind of shit that makes me laugh about this stuff because to me, it's really funny is like, I hate both sides. Like, you're a corporate CEO, you shouldn't have, the right to vote in your area like that. It's the whole Citizens United thing, like end it. No, this can't happen. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying seeing DeSantis get his ass kicked by a company that, is like, I'm not going to listen to your law. Sorry, my area said no. And so, but then the other side too is like, I really don't like corporate CEOs. I don't like the fact that they're owning areas to where they can control it and the government can't be like, no, you can't do that and make your own rules. I really don't like that. So I'm kind of iffy on both. Yeah, exactly. DeSantis is awful. Exactly. So it's just, I'm kind of sitting back and watching to see what happens because this is the kind of thing that needs to happen between government and companies in states anyway. Like this should be happening in Silicon Valley. This should be happening, down in the Disneyland out here, possibly. It's just really interesting to see how this is all panning out and how this is where this is gonna go, I guess. So let's see this. So this says Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida lawmakers ratchet up pressure on Walt Disney World on Monday by announcing legislation that will use the regulatory powers of Florida government to exert unprecedented oversight on the parks, resorts, rides, and monorail. Lawmakers will introduce a bill in coming weeks that would end an exemption for Disney parks when it comes to ride inspections by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, DeSantis said at a news conference near Disney World.
Against Walt Disney World, he announced today the legislature will now try to take back control of the company's special district. And then the governor suggested the land could be used to build a state prison. Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders with what else the governor said.
Spawned by Disney's resistance to a bill regulating sex education in the state last year, this wild ride for control of Disney's special taxing district, not over yet.
And at the end of the day, we made the decision as a state, as a
Agreed.
people, through the medium of our elections, that we would not have one corporation serving as its own government.
Governor Ron DeSantis Monday said he'll reassert state authority over the nearly 40 square miles of land surrounding Disney's parks, using a bill in the legislature to make it happen.
So I have a couple words for Disney. You are not going to win this fight. This governor will.
A state oversight board was already set to take over this year, but members discovered a few weeks ago the Disney-backed Reedy Creek board quietly agreed to cede district control to the company before stepping down. Some saw it as the mouse outfoxing the governor. DeSantis' bill would formally nullify Disney's deal and open up theme parks in special districts, meaning Disney, to state ride inspections after an incident.
Where a person is injured should not determine how the state responds. Everyone should have to play by the same rules.
But that's not all. With control restored, DeSantis suggested the state board would also look at more actions, like reappraising land to raise Disney's taxes, selling power infrastructure to a private provider, or developing district land for things like a state prison.
Nullifying a contractual agreement is unconstitutional. You can't get in between stakeholders in a contract that was publicly noticed.
Rep. Anna Eskamani is in Orlando.
Stakeholders. Oh, here we go. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm not okay. Like, she's defending CEOs to be able to make laws on their own land. This is like, it's like Waco and shit, but just with like Disneyland.
No lawmaker who has serious concerns about all this. Not only does she think new Disney costs will get passed to the consumer, she believes the governor is acting improperly.
Our community is tired of the drama with Disney. We need our governor to move on, let it go, focus on solving real issues like housing affordability, like the flooding in South Florida. We have real problems to address.
The next step comes
That
Wednesday.
is true. I guess you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, I really don't like what Disney's doing and making its own laws, but there are really important things that DeSantis could be doing in Florida instead of worrying about this tit for tat with Mickey Mouse.
The state's oversight board meets, potentially detailing more of its plans for Disney if district control is indeed reestablished.
Yeah, that's crazy here. I've got another one too. And then, I mean, I hate to agree with that girl that's backing up the the corporate private companies, but man, just wait.
Is escalating his political battle against Disney, Walt Disney World. Isn't that like one of their biggest employers in Florida? Got it. Yeah. And sort of what they do, tourism, right. At a news conference near Orlando yesterday, DeSantis outlined his next moves, vowing to nullify an agreement that allows the amusement park to circumvent his newly appointed state board. DeSantis then suggested the idea of developing land next to the park, which he says could include a state park, a rival amusement park, or even a state prison. He also floated the idea that the board could look into raising its tax rates, a move that would result in more costs for Disney. The feud started over a year ago after Disney came out against Florida's parental rights in education bill, which banned classroom instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in lower grades. DeSantis has since announced plans to expand the ban to all grade levels, which doesn't require legislative approval. So we could have a conversation about that, or about, talk about like stepping on a rake, getting in a fight with your largest employer.
It's also just, it's starting to get a little weird. I mean, and feel a little personal. Like, if,
deeply.
you know, I mean, deeply. I mean, you're in a fight basically with Mickey Mouse, and it's like, why is this happening to you so personally? I mean, it is also strange because, of course, DeSantis is trying to build.
Yeah, you're right. That's why watching the full press conference unedited on C-SPAN and reading the bills help figure it out. You are so right.
National profile. And it's a pretty odd way to do that by attacking Disney World, the destination, the desired destination of all children in America. I mean, I don't really see how that
the issues
helps.
in which why he's attacking them, Gene Robinson, is very appealing, I think, locally. But I thought Ron DeSantis was working on a presidential campaign.
Well, we thought so. He's not doing a very good job of it, to tell you the truth. And this is just weird. This obsession DeSantis has with having the last word over Disney. I mean, Disney did a maneuver that caught him flat-footed. He tried to put this board in charge of Disney and Disney World, and they sort of maneuvered him in advance, and he didn't know about it, and so he's just fuming and steaming. But this says a lot about Ron DeSantis and about, frankly, his unfitness to even think about being president. I mean, can you imagine?
I don't understand why they're so fixated on the fact that he's running for president and he's not paying attention about running for president, and he's more worried about his state. Like, I'm not here to defend DeSantis whatsoever, but holy fuck, we've got like a year and a half left until even election time. Like, we've got over a year until primaries. Are you kidding me? The fact that everybody's already calling out that they're running and are going on tours for and getting donations and stuff for their campaign for president as of now is too early to me. I mean, I know it happens, but holy fuck, like, since I've been paying attention, that is way too far in advance to be doing this kind of stuff. And these guys are worried now, MSNBC, of course it is, worried that he's not running for president and he's more worried about his own state. He's still a governor. He still has to run a state. He can't just be running along all over the country for president for the next year and a half when he still has a state to fucking run. This is crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely another one of those cash grab things for sure.
Trying to conduct foreign policy with this sort of grudge match attitude, toward our adversaries or our allies or anybody who got under his very, very thin skin. This is on the one hand really, really worrisome about DeSantis, and it's also like really funny. It is the state's biggest employer. It is the place where every child in America wants to go. Why are you going to fight Mickey Mouse? This is just stupid.
Because Mickey Mouse is not a human. It's not a person. Mickey Mouse Disney is a company, and as a governor, he is allowed to do that if a company is going to make legislation where this 40-mile area land is, laws are made by them. They're not going to go by, even though the Don't Say Gay bill and stuff was horrible, it's still what that state has to deal with. I'm sorry, but even though they say that, the North won, we still ended up having states' rights. So the states' rights win. That's what DeSantis wants in his state. That's what he gets. This company shouldn't have that kind of power. That to me, like I said too, I'm not defending DeSantis at all. But to me, that shows that this company has so much power, and it sets a precedence for other companies in other areas with that much power. I mean, look at what goes on in Silicon Valley. Those companies own that place. They pretty much make the laws. Like, I understand. Okay, so you want to build competition around Disneyland. So you want to build a park or a competitive theme park, or you want to build a prison, which I'm not okay with prison. I think the only reason why he's choosing prison is because it does make a lot of money, and it's going to make Disneyland to people scary and not want to go anymore because there's prisoners, even though prisoners are just normal people as well too. So it's crazy how they're doing it. But these people, that one girl is right though. I mean, there's so many things going on in his state that should be worrying about this.
Who runs
and leave it up to
Disney
MSNBC to call Disney a fucking human being.
Weeks ago, this is an anti-business position. He said, we're about to spend, I think, $17 billion in the state over the next few years and hire 13,000 more people and all the things that Disney does. I mean, Joe has talked about this as a guy from Florida. I mean, Disney is Florida. Tourism is Florida. Universal we throw in there as well. But, Disney originally was, of course, right? America's greatest theme park without question. But this is just, Harry Potter. Come on, go down the list. Yeah. But this is beyond bizarre, is it not, to have this icon of your state, this company, this business that brings billions and billions of dollars and tens of thousands of jobs to your state because your feelings were hurt on a position the company took on one issue, on one bill last year?
Look, partly this is about Ron DeSantis, and I think it is starting to hurt him when you're starting to see Republican donors.
What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Said they'd been looking forward to supporting a DeSantis campaign. Now saying, hold on a second, some of his positions, whether it's on, drag parades or whether it's on banning books or whether it's on taking on Disney, it's going too far. And they're now looking at him with a little bit more skepticism. So it's going to hurt Ron DeSantis personally, potentially as a presidential candidate. But I think it says something broader about the direction of the Republican Party. And Joe has
what if that is the plan for DeSantis? Instead of going around on tour, he goes and fights Disney at his own state. I'm the conservative person, and Disney's this super liberal place, and we have to fight against this super liberal place. And if I win, this makes me viral. It makes me cool on the internet, so that way I can win my. It seems like it's almost his plan to do it like this. Like, he's not going out to the people in other states worrying about if other states are going to vote for him, he's, concentrating on his own while he's still governor there, fighting against something, a company that's super liberal. He is technically fighting a company in the way that governments are supposed to be fighting against private corporations. But, he's a conservative. And I think what he's doing is he's doing it for the viralness and the popularity. It's going to bring him into the conservative parts of the country while he's running for president. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, you guys smash that like button if you can. Please, please, please. Definitely helps with the algorithms. It takes 2 seconds. I promise. I promise. I promise. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is the Republican Party oddly becoming the anti-business party, which is flipping history on its head?
Exactly.
And it's not just in Florida. You're seeing them do it in Texas, too, where the Texas legislature is starting to enact social conservative rulings that could have an impact on the way that businesses are able or want to operate in Texas. And, Texas is a booming state, but the Republican Party, paradoxically, could be about to hold the state back economically just because businesses don't like the intervention. They don't want businesses don't expect the Republican Party to intervene in the way they do business in the way that the Republican Party of today seems to be doing.
And Mika, to further Caddy's point, it's the book bans, it's this fight with Disney, it's the restrictive abortion ban. This is Governor DeSantis, as he's trying to build a national profile, seemingly embracing policies and positions that are aimed at a shrinking portion of the electorate. Certainly not enough to win nationally, and at the moment, not enough to win a nomination. As he's sinking in the polls, donors are having second thoughts. Trump has opened up his lead. Meanwhile, he's also ignored issues in his own backyard. We were saying yesterday, the flooding in Fort Lauderdale, historic flooding in recent days, never appeared. DeSantis never visited the site.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
and that's the point that I wanted to bring across too, is the fact that he had so much flooding in fucking Florida. Like, oh my God. And he never even went there to experience any of it. Like, he didn't even care. And see, this is where I'm like, all right, I understand. We need to break the status quo of stopping corporate CEOs and companies from making laws in the land and the area that they're doing. Like, that whole situation is fucked. Like, he should be fighting it, yes. But to completely ignore what happened in his own state to the regular people just goes to show that he's, like I said earlier, that this is probably his plan. He's doing it for the win for presidency, to make him look popular on the internet. But he completely ignored what happened in his state. This right here, like BuzzFeed. I fucking hate BuzzFeed, but man, they found everything you can think of. Florida is experiencing devastating flood right now, and these 27 photos are jaw-dropping. This is insane what's going on out there, and he's completely ignoring it while he's fighting Disneyland. Here's the first one. Neighborhoods on the south side of Fort Lauderdale are still underwater with water in homes. Here's the first look. Those homes are flooded. Look, the water is up to the headlights on the car. That's what I noticed about a lot of them. I noticed a lot of videos. People were walking like knee deep in water. There were even gators running around, like alligators running around. This shit was nuts. Like, there's a sky view of it. Some areas saw 20 inches of rain. Okay. Drone videos, Fort Lauderdale. Look at this. Just fucking cars stuck everywhere. People can't move. And DeSantis didn't do shit about this. Didn't go see it. Didn't none of this. None of it. Didn't care. Look at that. It's fucking sad. Like, Florida almost became 2 states. Fuck. And people don't care. Or DeSantis didn't care. Unprecedented rainfall every 1 to 2,000 years. Oh, that got moved. Okay. So yeah, they're saying this is like unprecedented rainfall. What happens every 1 to 2,000 years. Been trying to push their vehicles out of the deep water. There's people trying to push their cars and stuff. Well, that one looks like a moving truck. Many cars have been abandoned. Look at this. That don't look like Florida. That looks like a country in South America that we fucked over. That America's like ruined. In some areas, the water has made its way inside and started flooding people's homes. Like, how do you save that? How do you save yourself from that? Everything that is on the ground in that people's homes is done for. Wood cabinets, dressers, beds, all of it done. Wet. Like, look at that. This poor guy. Oh. I'm pretty sure the infrastructure out there is shit too. I'm pretty sure that they have not built fucking dog, dude. Every fucking time you get on here, you mess with shit. Like, stop jumping on the couch, okay? I keep things on the couch right here, and then you flip it over, and then I gotta sit here and clean it up because you're an idiot. God damn it, dog. Sorry, he flipped over my shit. Oh, even hurricane impact windows are struggling against the storm. Yeah, right. It was precedented, except now it happens way too frequently. I just hope they keep saying that it's unprecedented so people can be like, oh shit, this is, you know, and then they keep saying it again and again and again and again. Sorry, I'm trying to clean this up. Fucking dog. The rain hasn't let up. Flood warnings are still in effect for counties like Broward until later that night, which was the 13th of April. Here's some more areas in Florida. I don't know why it's so glitchy. Maybe because I increased the size. Look at that. That's the city. This person, wow. It's really, really, really glitchy. Jesus Christ. Like, it's just, Jesus. Just chill out, website. God, between you and my animal, I'm going to lose my shit today. I have no patience. Fort Lauderdale, downtown flooding. Schools have been shut. This is her attempt to get out of downtown. Jesus. Right, that would set the precedent. Right. Very, very, very true. This person, they're saying that it's a nightmare, apocalyptic view. I mean, at least they still got a street right there, but yeah. Nope, that whole street is flooded. This shit's crazy. Like, this is what's happening. People riding around in boats in Florida. Like, everywhere is just having these natural disasters. And what is, you know, just in like DeSantis's thing, like, this is what's happening in their area. But what is he doing? That guy's swimming? What the fuck? There's waves. Oh my God. I hadn't seen that yet. That motherfucker swam to the curb. Man, Florida people are awesome. Why hasn't this been on the news? Florida man swims to the curb. Another Florida man video. Oh God, I love it. I'm so here for it. There's canoeing. Dude, this is nuts. This thing is so fucking glitchy. I don't know what is going on. The rain in Fort Lauderdale won't stop and the water can no longer drain. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, that's kind of cool looking, but it's still crazy. Like, if it wasn't a scary situation, I would be like, yo, that's awesome. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know what I did with it, but I had a video of this one person's full-on experience, and he was driving in the water in his car trying to get to higher land, and the guy in the back seat was like, don't stop, just keep driving, don't slow down, keep going, your car's gonna be okay. Like, it was up to the hood in water, and they were just driving through it. They're like, just don't stop. You're thinking like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like the same as snow too. You got to have that momentum. You can't stop it. When you got that momentum and you're in shit deep in water or snow, you just got to, or you're going uphill in snow, you got to just keep going. Once you got that momentum, you got to keep that momentum. You have to keep the momentum. Yeah, storm drains can only hold so much. It's crazy. Out in a lifeboat rescuing people? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a way to get some fucking votes for your presidency, not fighting Disneyland. Like, I'm telling you, we all live in our own little matrix worlds, man. I swear, like, it's like we're all in our own little bubble worlds, and we think that that's what's most important. It's wild. If you get water in the engine, yeah, game over. Exactly. Those South American rivers, ooh, island hopping uphill into our ex can go right. So true. Let's do it. Let's let them all come over. Prefer Trump over DeSantis, even though they both suck. RFK Jr. is looking good. Yeah. I'm not for the two-party system, so they all look bad to me. Wading through water. Parents are doing what they can. Downtown Fort Lauderdale flooding. Shit's nuts. Airports are canceled. Come on, stop being a dick. It like glitches it up. People are waiting for flights. Yeah, that's what I wanted to show too. I have some video of that. Like legit ass, the fucking tarmac at the airport was literally underwater. It looked like the ocean, some guy said. He's like, it looks like the ocean right there, and you just see cars and the airplanes out in it. It was nuts. Like, oh, did this guy get an aerial view of it? No, I didn't notice that, but they do that a lot. They definitely do that a lot. They'll like stand on their knees to make it look deeper than it really is, and then somebody will just walk by and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, you faking it. Yeah, that shit's crazy. It looked like a legit ass ocean from like the streets. Is he in Cancun again? Most likely. Most likely. That's where a lot of them seem to go. I mean, our governor out here in California, fuck. Ed's gonna help me in a second. He's gonna figure it out and he's gonna help me. I forgot his name. Anyway, our governor out here, he went to one of those Mexican island, Bahama, Cancun, whatever kind of places during the 2 weeks that we got snowed out here in the mountains and up north in the Mammoth Mountains and shit. When we were all snowed and like starving to death and like practically buried in our houses. Yeah, our governor. Yeah, Newsom. Thank you, Ed. Always there to hook it up. Fucking ride or die, I'm telling you. Yeah, Gavin Newsom was out in some like island somewhere when we were dealing with that. So that's pretty much what that's what they do. You trying to kiss my ass because you're in trouble? I bet you are. See this? She's trying to kiss my ass because she knows she's in trouble. Hey, you're stepping on my hair. What do you want? Aerial view. There's the aerial view of the... Oh, Jesus Christ. The airport. The airport was nuts. Look at that. Airport lockdown. Entire airport flooded. Look at that. It looked... The guy was... Guy's like, it looks like the ocean.
Airport, buddy. This is the airport in Lauderdale.
Lay down. Lay down. Right? I need a nauticon. I need some kind of nautical vehicle. Oh, God. You're so funny, Norman. Oh, my goodness. Let's see what else we got. All residents have been asked to seek shelter. Okay, and that's it. Like, okay, here, let me show you the ones that I got for this, because a couple of them are from TikTok. Is it the same? I think this might be the same guy, actually. I think I got the same video that somebody else got. Look at that.
Airport, buddy.
Yep.
This is the airport in Lauderdale.
I did. Okay, cool. I got the same video as BuzzFeed, I guess. So then... Ah! That's a loud ass video. So here's the one I was wanting to show you of the guy that like was right next to the airport and was showing it, and he's like, it looks like an ocean.
What Mother Nature did.
Current situation. Fort Lauderdale
She flooded the
International
whole
Airport.
Fort
Look at that
Lauderdale
shit.
International Airport with rain and water.
Crazy out here. Crazy.
That's insane. And then I got one more where it's like a freeway, and you can see like, you know, like the big high freeway walls and shit, obviously. It looks like right next to the airport. Look at that. Oh, wait. I have to turn the volume down because there is the song on there from TikTok, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to play it. But yeah, look at that. That is crazy. And that's what's happening. They did like a salute sign. I love it. And that's what's happening in Florida right now while DeSantis is battling Disney. Like, we are humans. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can think of multiple things at the same time. Yes, okay, fight against Disney, absolutely. But don't make this your bread and butter. You know, you've got really big, important things to deal with in your own state that could really help you get the votes if you actually went out and helped people. But in your own little bubble, in this elitist bubble where you think that fighting Disney is what's going to get you the votes that you want later on, if this is your scheme, your plan, whatever you have to run for president. I say it would probably be a lot more beneficial to him running for president if he actually went down to Fort Lauderdale and actually went and helped the people that were in trouble. But that's my own opinion and my own hope, and probably my own little bubble world that I live in that I wish the world would be the same as, but we don't. And this is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with. You know, our politicians not caring when we're in dire, desperate need of help because of rugged individualism. And now, you know, politicians are more worried about fighting against Trump, you know, finding leakers is another one recent too, battling back and forth against about guns. You know, all that stuff is like way more important than actually benefiting society. It's like all these fake fights that we're being thrown at to constantly go back and forth at each other, like the Bud Light thing, you know, like it's just these constant things to be thrown at in our face so we can keep fighting against each other instead of all coming together to say, hey, we need fucking help. You government aren't doing shit. You're obviously allowing private corporations to run things. We ain't gonna work like that. So didn't I get the hopes and prayers email? I've gotten too many of them. All right. That's set in my spam folders now. Don't work no more. Speaking of what else needs to be going on with our freaking country, another actually really good part of the whole rugged individualism, as people say, you know, this is a perfect example of like people. Oh shit, Jesus Christ, Jimmy. People doing what they, you know, man, because it would be completely inconsistent if I did it this way. I'm trying to figure out how to come about this. So there's two different scenarios that happened just in the last few days. Okay, the first scenario was cops went to a wrong house. Okay, they knocked on the wrong door, answering a domestic violence call. Went to the wrong house, knocked on the door. The guy opened the door with his gun, didn't shoot or anything. You're allowed to open your gun or open your door with your gun. That is obviously legal, you know, in America to do that because it's your property. And the cop shot him and killed him. Now, another situation that happened was a little boy that was supposed to be going to pick up his brother and sister at a house. Went to the wrong house on the wrong block, went on the wrong street by accident, knocked on the wrong door, and was shot by the owner of the house. Now, I'm trying to stay in consistency, and I guess I can stay in a consistency with the two situations because the guy with the kid shot the kid even though he was just knocking on the door, and the cops in the first one. See, because like I want to defend this guy that got caught by the shot or shot by the cops. Cops by the shot? I might be stoned. I want to defend him because I'm trying not to be biased in the situation. Like, okay, I don't want to be against the cops, even though the cops were wrong for shooting the dude. As a law thing, he is right to come and answer the door with his gun in the middle of the night. Now, with the second guy, he had the right to answer the door with his gun, but he had no right to shoot the kid because the kid was not doing anything. And I think that's where I can probably do it differently with the two. Because I just realized, like, wow, those are kind of same situations, you know, but not really, because the owner shot this kid and the cops shot the dude. So yeah, okay. Don't think I'm inconsistent with these two stories, please, because I'm trying to figure out myself how I'm going to think about these. So yeah, DeSantis should be in a lifeboat, right? People need to stop knocking. Yeah, there we go. People need to stop knocking on the wrong doors. Is that how we're going with this? Sorry, that's so wrong. We should not be laughing right now, you guys. We're all going to hell. Jesus Christ. So, okay. I think I can be consistent because they're two completely different scenarios. I really don't think that there is a problem with somebody answering the door with their gun if that's what's legal in America. I really don't, especially if it's late at night and the way that the cops knock, maybe he didn't hear them say that they're the police. He just heard the loud banging because cops knock is like, they have their own word. It's called the cop knock. If your friend knocks really loud at your door, you open the door and be like, why are you cop knocking me? So, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with mentally, especially in the middle of the night, blah, blah, blah. I'm not inconsistent. Okay, cool. I'm trying to figure it out. So this is the first story of the man with the police officers. So let's get into this one first, and then we'll go into the next one, because there are two separate stories that are going on right now. It does seem like they're a little bit the same, but I'm sure of it. They're not now. Okay.
And good evening. Body camera video released by the department hours ago showing the tragedy that has really shocked that community and, frankly, our state, even parts of our nation. Tommy Lopez is here to break down what some of the video shows us, Tommy. I mean, we see officers shoot this man. We see them fire at his wife, all before they even seriously discuss whether or not they're at the right house.
Yeah, it's a chilling conversation now that we know what happened next. Tonight, the Farmington police chief says he can't tell us exactly what went wrong. We do want to warn you, you may find this video disturbing. We are not going to show you the moments when officers shoot 52-year-old Robert Dotson, but you will hear the gunshots. Hey, hands up! This is when 3 Farmington officers opened fire at a home on Valley View Avenue, and this tragedy played out. We're seeing 52-year-old Robert Dotson answer his own door in his robe in the middle of the night, and he draws his gun. This came after officers announced themselves 3 times over 2.5 minutes.
What are you doing?
Farmington police. We can't tell whether their red and blue lights are running on their vehicles, but almost immediately as Dotson opens his front door, officers see him draw a gun and they fire. Hey, hands up! Shots fired, shots fired! Here's another angle. Hey. It's not clear whether Dotson ever heard police say who they were. About a minute later, we hear Dotson's wife screaming, and the officers shoot at her too. Hands up!
Like that.
Please don't.
Like that. That's the part that's wrong. That's the part that's wrong. A woman come out screaming, worried about her husband. You even hear the guy say himself, ma'am, please don't. And then her come out, check, like, of course, you're freaking out. Somebody shot your husband. You're going to come out and look at him and make sure he's okay and still alive. And then they shoot at her. I'm sorry, but to me, that looks like domestic terrorism to me, not police officers. That guy was doing exactly what he was allowed to be doing. You're allowed to answer your door with a gun, right? That's allowed in America, isn't it? Right? I thought that was legal. But the cops get to go around acting like they're higher than the law. Like you're not allowed. Now people are going to be afraid to be answering their door with a gun, and then now people are going to be shot in their houses and stuff with burglars. Like, so like, what are we supposed to do as regular citizens? Like, what are we supposed to do? Seriously, like, you can never do anything right with police officers. You're always going to be in the wrong no matter what. The dude that just ran away from the cops, like, what was it, a couple months ago, that got shot like 40 something times by the police while he was running, had no gun on him or anything. He had no weapon on him when they finally got to his body. All those cops got dismissed. No charges whatsoever. Just like what, yesterday or something? So yeah, exactly, Brandy. It's literally domestic terrorism. You literally cannot make a right choice no matter what you do with these cops anymore. It's crazy.
Miraculously, they don't hit her, and she's not hurt.
Miraculously.
These officers were supposed to go to 5308 Valley View, directly across the street. But we clearly see in their body camera video, this house is 5305.
So that guy died for no reason. No reason whatsoever. None. Absolutely no reason.
5308?
Just a regular ass dude in a regular ass state in a regular ass town coming to answer his regular ass door with his regular ass gun like any regular ass fucking American would probably fucking do. This shit's crazy.
Right there, right? 2 officers have been with the department for 5 years. The third has been an officer just 9 months. And it's the rookie who questioned if they were at the right house.
No, this is 5305, isn't it?
53.
And there you go. And out of all of the people that are working as a police officer during that night that went to that thing, it's the rookie that said, are you guys sure we're at the right place?
05. A more experienced officer radios in, then shuts down the conversation.
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
And seconds later, they're firing their guns. It's a mistake that led to a tragedy. A homeowner defending themselves and police reacting. Now a family is looking for answers.
Hey, hands up!
Tessa, it was a domestic violence call from the house at 5308 that officers were supposed to respond to that night.
And what do we know about those 3 officers involved?
Yeah, the Farmington police chief told us they are on administrative leave, and the chief says that they will not name them until later in the investigation, and state police are handling that.
And we know tonight the police chief did face some tough questions about, how this went so horribly wrong so quickly.
Yeah.
Speaking of the police chief, so here we go. I got a little video of him talking now. Let's see how caring he is. Right. Isn't there technology shy of lethal force to keep the cops safe and do their jobs at the same time, murdered by the state? Exactly. They could have used, the little bzz, bzz. They could have pepper sprayed him. They could have done anything. But the first thing you're going to do is pull out your gun. Really? That's it? That guy literally did what he was supposed to be doing, or what normal people in America have always done. Like, there's movies about people answering their door with the gun. I swear to God. These fucking cops have turned into snowflakes and they think everybody's out to get them. Well, maybe if you start acting right, maybe we wouldn't be out to get you. But now here you go, killing off innocent people just because you're afraid. This is not a way of police. You signed up for this job. This is what you have to deal with. You need, as a trained police officer, need to be the calm one in a crazy situation, not leaving it up to the citizen to try to make up the right way to go. And it's always going to be the wrong choice because you're the cop and above the law. It's bullshit.
Will make this better. It's a terrible event.
What state?
And I'm heartbroken over it.
A deadly shooting in New Mexico is now under
New Mexico.
investigation.
There you go, New
after
Mexico.
Officers shot and killed a man when responding to the wrong address.
What I will tell you as the chief is that this is an extremely traumatic event, and that I am just heartbroken by the circumstances surrounding this.
52-year-old Robert Dotson was killed on April 5th in Farmington.
He's heartbroken by the circumstances surrounding this. So the police being above the law, being domestic terrorists, there are circumstances now. That's what it's called. No belittling or saying that my team was wrong or anything like that. Just, I'm sorry for the families. Life goes on. Move on. Next guy we have to kill.
New Mexico, when officers responded to the wrong house after an emergency call came in.
On April 5th, 2023, at approximately 11:30 p.m., officers were dispatched to 5308 Valley View for a domestic violence call. Officers mistakenly went to the wrong address at 5305 Valley View.
Officials say Farmington police knocked on the door and identified themselves as officers.
Okay.
No one answered. Officers asked dispatch to redial the original caller, asking them to come to the front door. As officers began to back away, Dotson answered the front door.
As officers were verifying the address, the homeowner came to the door. The man, Robert Dotson, was armed with a handgun as he opened the door.
After that, gunshots rang out.
What followed was a chaotic scene, with officers retreating and opening fire. Mr. Dotson was struck and later died at the scene.
Dotson was shot and later died at the scene. Farmington Police Chief Steve Hebe called the shooting, quote, extremely tragic.
Extremely tragic instead of these guys were wrong. It's just extremely tragic to them. They don't care. As long as their police officers are protected, that's all that matters to them.
Video released on the department's Facebook page.
Mr. Dotson was not the subject of the call that our officers were responding to. And This ending is just unbelievably tragic. I'm extremely sorry that we are in this position, but just in general for us, this is a very dark day for Farmington PD, for our community, for the Dotson family. I extend nothing but my deepest condolences to the Dotson family. There's nothing I can say that will make this better. It's a terrible event, and I'm heartbroken over it.
Moving forward, the New Mexico State Police will investigate the shooting. According to a press release, the department will work to determine what led up to the shooting by collecting evidence and conducting interviews. Once the investigation
That's
is
a smart
complete,
way,
it will
actually.
be
That's
handed
a smart one, Ed. There you go.
over to the San Juan County District Attorney's Office.
We'll find more facts as we go through the investigation over the next several days. We've continued to learn facts over the course of this day as we've looked at the incident and tried to understand what had happened and how it happened so fast. And you'll see that on video when we release that in a few days.
Body camera video of the shooting has not yet been released, but Farmington police say it will likely be released within a week. Law and Crime Network reached out to the Dotson family for this story and were referred to their attorney. Their attorney says they are not yet releasing a statement, but does tell me there is a press conference scheduled for next week.
There you
Reporting
go.
for Law and Crime Network.
Press conference scheduled for next week on this. So that's at least we get to hear from the woman who lived through that, which is crazy. I could not imagine being the wife. I couldn't imagine it. I could not. Fucking police officers, man. Okay. So then, like I said, the next story that I wanted to talk about was about a boy. So this boy went to go go and grab his his brother and his sister, his two siblings or something from hanging out, went to the wrong house. The guy literally just shot him from knocking on the door. This is just some kid. Now, we don't know who the shooter is. I don't think they're releasing who the shooter is. And I think it's on purpose because the shooter is probably an older white man. And this has to do with race. So, I'm pretty sure they're trying to keep this guy safe so that way so that way nobody comes after him. So yeah, these geniuses want robots and don't even realize they'll replace them. Exactly. I may be experiencing more than normal high tides between March and May 2023. Okay. Obviously, yeah, usually the moon does that. Absolutely.
Story out of Kansas City. The family of a teenager says the boy was shot after knocking on the wrong door. He was trying to pick up his younger brothers when the homeowner fired. That teen was released from the hospital today. CBS 2's Lilia Luciano has more on that and the outrage that no charges have been filed.
You should never, ever have to worry that your life will be taken.
One block difference is what the family of 16-year-old Raf Jarl say landed him in the hospital Thursday. Jarl was supposed to pick up his younger brothers from a friend's house on 115th Terrace in Kansas City. But she says instead he went to 115th Street, where he rang the bell, and that's when police say a man opened fire, shooting him in the head. Jarl's aunt said the man then shot him again.
There is a thorough investigation underway now. There will be a thorough review in the prosecutor's office. We will make sure we do all we can to be fair, to make sure that we're as expeditious as possible.
The homeowner who allegedly shot the teen was taken into custody on a 24-hour hold and was released. Police cited the need for further investigation and for a formal statement from the victim as some of the reasons. While the identity of the shooter remains unknown, many in the community worry race may be a factor. Kansas City's police chief acknowledged that concern.
I want everyone to know that I'm listening.
Oh, no.
And I understand the concern that we are receiving from the community.
Black lives are under attack. What do you do? Stand up, fight back.
Protesters gathered and demonstrated on Sunday, calling for justice, including Jarl's father.
Our message for the prosecutor, we want charges.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
So yeah, just another video to show you guys. So the God damn it, dogs. The parents went on CBS this morning of the boy. So we'll watch this one too. I gotta go to the bathroom so bad.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. This morning we are hearing from the family of a black 16-year-old teenager who was shot after he went to the wrong door to pick up his young twin brothers in Kansas City. Ralph Jarl's family says he went to the wrong address on Thursday night to pick up his little brothers. And after he rang the doorbell, he was shot once in the head and again after he fell to the ground. Ralph was released from the hospital this past Saturday, and he's been recovering at home. The man who allegedly shot him, 84-year-old Andrew Lester, has now just been charged. We're joined by Ralph Yarl's mother, that's Cleo Nagby, and the family's attorney, that is Lee Merritt. This is an interview that you'll see first on CBS Mornings. I don't know where to begin to express how glad we are, Ms. Nagby, that your son is okay. It seems like a miracle and a blessing. Lee, it's good to see you as well. But I want to start with you, Ms. Nagby. Can you bring us up to date on how Ralph is doing under the circumstances and what his condition is at this time?
Good morning, and thanks for having me here.
Here we go.
Doing considerably well. Physically, mornings are hard.
Oh, he has been
but his
arrested?
spirit-
I'm trying to find something about them, like something newer about it. I'm not finding anything new. We'll do it in the last hour. Oh, look, Sand Faye Unscripted. This lady does a YouTube video. She streamed it 15 minutes ago and has no views. Oh, we should befriend her. Okay, here we go. Missouri man accused of shooting teen in custody. Oh,
news we want to get to right now. The man charged with shooting a
there he
Kansas
is.
City teenager is now in custody. This just happened. The Clay County Sheriff's Office says this 84-year-old, you see him on the screen, Andrew Lester, surrendered a short time ago. Lester's accused of firing a gun at 16-year-old
they identified it.
Ralph
Okay.
Yarl. He was the one who was trying to pick up his younger brother.
He was arrested last night.
But he went to the wrong house. Yarl, fortunately, is now out.
See, because I was having a hard time trying to find the videos for it, anything less than 24 hours. I should have put on the filter of an hour ago or something and probably would have gotten something more up to date. I'm sorry.
But his lawyers say he is still dealing with some serious injuries.
Look at that protest. That's what I'm talking about. And this shit's going to keep happening. People are going to keep protesting and until something happens. Like, how much of the percentage of humanity of the citizens in our country have to be going through something and have to actually start fighting back like this to actually get something done? Because I swear to God, we see so many of these protests for so many years and we still don't get shit done. I don't understand.
Earlier today, as you see, Yarl's classmates marched around their school. They chanted his name in support. We want to bring in NBC News correspondent Antonia Hilton. She's been watching this story closely. A lot of developments within the last couple of hours here, Antonia. So tell us, what more do we know about the surrender here, as well as what actually happened the night of that shooting?
That's right, Peter. All this has unfolded very quickly this afternoon. Andrew Lester has just surrendered to Clay County officials there and is being booked as we speak. And
surrendered?
this comes after days.
Wait, he surrendered? They didn't arrest him? He went and surrendered? See, this is where I was worried about the consistency, but you can answer your door and not shoot somebody with a gun, and that's fine. But if you answer your door and you shoot someone, that's when you start going to answering the legal questions, right? So I am being consistent with this whole thing. This motherfucker just shot a kid, and then they didn't even arrest him. They allowed him to turn himself in. Is that true?
Protests in the community.
Now I'm learning all of this stuff with you guys. So.
And many residents, not just the Black community that has rallied behind Ralph, but people all over the state have been asking why he wasn't taken into custody earlier. The shooting happened on April 13th, and there have been, some confusing accounts and details about what happened. But what we understand now is that Ralph Yarl approached trying to pick up his twin brothers that day and went to the wrong address, rang the doorbell, and that day, Andrew Lester says he was home alone and was fearful upon seeing Ralph at the door, that he opened one door, but that there was another glass door in between them. And prosecutors allege he shot through that glass door twice at Ralph Yarl, who then we're learning now stumbled out into the street and had to go to 3 different neighbors before he received aid. As you mentioned, he
went to 3 different neighbors before he even got aid. I'm sorry, but you can't negate the fact that that's racist. It has to come on. There's no other other than the fact that people don't want to touch people who are hurting or something, like, because like stuff like that happens where like a woman will get kidnapped and all this stuff will happen to her in a house and she'll escape the house and go to the next door neighbor and nobody will do anything. Or like a girl in the woods escapes and goes to a random house out in the woods and they don't answer the door. She has to go to like 3 different kinds. Like, I understand that stuff, but holy shit, this is a regular neighborhood. He got shot. Oh, he shot him through the glass. No way. That cop. Yeah, I've got my here, I'll show you guys. It's from Lime. It's I guess the kids are calling them, to me they're vapes, so yeah, that's what I got. So I'm smoking while I'm watching. They had to wait until the kid could give a statement. That's gross. The Law of Self-Defense is a good YouTube channel. Yeah.
He's back home and he is alive, thankfully, and doing well on the mend. But it's been up and down as NBC News has spoken to his attorneys and to family members. At one moment, he's grateful to be alive. And the next, he's asking, why did this happen to me, Peter?
Yeah, this is such an awful story.
That's the worst thing, too. When this kind of stuff happens to people, the thing that they always ask themselves, why does this happen to me? I hate when they have to ask themselves that because it just breaks my heart. Absolutely shatters me to hear people have to say that. Why did that happen to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Finish. I want to ask you about
so
that student
heartbreaking.
march we saw at Jarl's school. What are his classmates saying? We know they were all decked out in blue, his favorite color.
That's right. They are trying to wrap him and his family in as much love and support as possible. You see the images right there. People leaving school to make sure that this public support for Ralph is out there as he's on the mend. And of course, they're eager for him to get back into school. For anyone who doesn't know much about
Norman, so true.
about this 16-year-old. He is beloved by his classmates and by his teachers who have come forward to reporters all over the country to tell us all about him, about how he is a leader in his marching band, a very accomplished musician, someone who has big dreams for college, a very high achieving student. And so there is just a shock and horror about every element of this story and this desire to, get him back to his classmates and to his friends and to the most normal routine that he could possibly have after such a horrific incident.
Antonio Hilton with the latest reporting there. Antonio, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC.
What else has to happen for that to for that to stop? What do we have to do? My new friend, be careful, the media might be lying. I wanted Kyle Rittenhouse to hang because of what the media was telling me. Then trial happened. I watched on YouTube law channels and learned more. Yeah, there's a good law channel on YouTube, and I follow them a lot because they really get into the nitty-gritty of like different courtroom sessions of different cases and stuff. So yeah, no, you're right. I'm not for hanging anyone. I think he should have gone to jail for shooting somebody. Absolutely. I'm not okay with the way that the cops handled that situation by letting that kid run around freely, saying that he shot people. But, the way that the conservatives have turned him into like this god-like being is just gross too. Like, your god-like being, the person that you're worshiping, went around and killed people at a protest, so. But yeah, like what else? I mean, what more has to happen for, for things to start changing? I mean, okay, like this weekend down in Chicago, a couple more kids were shot because these kids are out like rioting and protesting and shit out on the streets in Chicago. Now, I haven't figured out what the hell they were protesting about. So Ed, if you know, because you live in Chicago, please help me out and inform me what this is doing. But to me, when I look at protests and kids out, running amok and hooting and hollering all over the street and stuff, I think there's a reason behind it. If people can go and flip over cars and break things and stuff like that when their favorite basketball or football team or sports ball team wins, why is that any better than these kids out here protesting and rioting for a certain aspect or reason? And so just like those kids in for protesting for the kid being shot against gun violence, you've got kids out in Tennessee protesting, like a bunch of kids at the law. You just have kids now starting to get up into the mix of things. Sorry, I was AFK. Chicago this weekend, there was a couple of teens shot down in downtown Chicago because there was like a bunch of kids here. I'll show you. And then help me out. Maybe you can find or know the reason why these kids were out there on the streets. Two of the people shot were two of her medics. Ooh, what? Oh, you knew one of the medics during the Rittenhouse? Jesus Christ. He should have not been shot like that, even if he was a bad student. Yeah, no. I agree. So gonna talk about that tonight. Okay, good. Okay, cool. That's gonna be awesome. Okay, so then I'm gonna prep for you. I'm like your fluffer, for your show later. So this is all I have so far. Chicago Coroner solo show 7:30. So are you guys 2 hours ahead of us right now or 1 hour ahead of us? I think you're 2, so that's 7:30, 6:30, 5:30 for me. Okay. I'm going to keep this up while we're watching this little video. Well, these couple of videos. So all right, so here, this is what was going on in downtown Chicago. Violence, gunshot, mayhem, blah, 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 ahead of the 2024 Democratic National Convention. I don't understand why a bunch of kids under the age of 18 would care that the DNC was going to be held in Chicago. Doesn't seem... It's 4:25. Yeah, so I'm saying it's 5. It'll be at 4:25. So 3. It's 2:25. So you're 2 hours. Okay, cool. Perfect. Link it, mod. Link your video for tonight in the comments section so that way everybody can notify, and then put the Chicago Corner links in the comments too, so that way they can go and subscribe to Chicago Corner. All right, so this is what they're saying. Democrats are destroying America, as if these non-voting aged wait, it's 425. No, that's unrelated. That post is BS. Oh, this is unrelated? Oh shit. Really? This one? Wait, this one? This is the one that they were showing everywhere. Bunch of kids fighting. Now, to set this up really quick, okay, because this is called Trends. Interesting. So, okay, yeah, okay. I almost lost what I was talking about for a second. Jesus Christ, I hate being a stoner sometimes. Okay. So, to set this up, meetups set up via social media. Okay. Oh, so they're going on to a meetup thing and doing this because it's a trend. Okay. Well, leave it up to Chicago. Gotta love it. I don't say that there's any uptick in violence, though. Okay, so this is where I wanted to set the precedent of this kind of thing, because the same thing happened with okay, so the CEO of Cash App got murdered in San Francisco, and before they found out that the murderer was the actual friend, a real high tech person that was a friend of the CEO of Cash App, they were going around saying that San Francisco is just uptick in violence. It's a super violent place. Blah blah blah. We need to start defunding the areas because they're just violent as shit. Just a bunch of punk kids running around being violent, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're saying. Violent, 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 violent. Uptick in violence. Everything is violent. Then when they found out it was a friend of his. And so this is kind of what I'm starting to see in some of the deep city areas, is that whatever happens, even stuff like this, or, somebody gets shot by his own friend, the media automatically gets their intel from the government and goes out to the people on these shows and starts saying these cities are just the uptick in violence. There's just too much violence. We need to start cracking down on everything, which technically it's not really uptick in violence at all whatsoever. It's just an uptick in like homelessness and things like that. So like people are going to jail more often. So you consider that, like somebody being arrested, violence, blah, 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 whatever. You put people in a street with, no money and like fights are going to happen and shit, but it's not an uptick in violence. It's just people's life is getting worse. So that's where I was like, kind of, because in this video right here, like they're talking about the 2 teens that were shot down in Chicago when the crowds of this happened. They're like talking about how there's an uptick in violence here as well. But as you were saying, though, like you're saying, it's just a trend that they did, which this is what they do. At least they're not out there fucking eating Tide Pods and shit. That's all that matters to me. They're out there like accidentally, well, I guess 2 people accidentally died, but at least not out there like killing themselves, like laying on top of doors and taking pictures like with that plank shit, So some of those trends on there are wild. This must be some kind of local trend because I didn't see anything like this happen in any other state, but it doesn't mean that there's an uptick in violence. So it's been blown out of context. Yeah. Blown up by national media. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to show was like how the media was perceiving this whole situation as if like you got to hear some of what these politicians are saying in this video, like calling them punks and shit. Like if I was a parent of one of those kids, I would go up to that politician and backslap him and be like, how fucking dare you call my kid a punk because she's out there wanting to do a trend with her friends? Like, fuck you, incel.
Downtown Chicago on Saturday night as hundreds of young people crowded the streets. And the video coming from this shocking, showing massive groups jumping on cars, causing tourists to flee the sound of gunfire. 2 teens were hospitalized after they were shot in all of this. News Nation affiliate WGN's Courtney Spinelli has the latest on the city's response.
Right now, things are much quieter than last night when hundreds of young people flooded
Yep.
this area, prompting a massive police
Exactly.
response. During it, 2
Yep,
teens were shot and
exactly.
rushed to the
Critical
hospital,
thinking.
both said to be in fair condition. This right here is what it looked like on the streets of Chicago Saturday night.
We had people jumping on cars. This is insane.
Large numbers of young people crowding the area of the loop from Michigan Avenue to Clark Street and could be seen jumping on parked cars and smashing windows. 2 times, groups of teens were also seen punching, kicking, and stomping on someone on the ground.
The crime in Chicago is simply out of hand. It's nuts.
Community activists outraged and calling on city leaders to help address the crime.
We need to give the Chicago Police Department the funding and the resources that they need.
See how they're calling these people the city activists? This guy's part of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm pretty sure that he has more power than activists, way more power, because I live in an unincorporated area. My lowest part of my politics is a board of supervisors, which is about an hour and a half away is where her office is. So you know what the next lowest is? That it's not even really an elected office or anything, but they do have a lot of power because they've stopped a lot of stuff that we've tried to start out here for activism. Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is a very, very, very powerful organization.
To take care of this crime in our communities.
As chaos
But it is full of old people because they have to pay dues every month and shit. You got to pay them like, you want to be a part of the Chamber of Commerce, you got to pay a monthly fee to be a part of it. And it's usually just a bunch of old boomers. So, they're going to go around calling these kids punks and shit, not understanding that there's such thing as a fucking trend on TikTok.
Saturday night, it was enough to disrupt traffic and CTA.
And nobody
service.
eats Tide Pods
Officers
per
flooded
se.
the scene, attempting to control the crowds.
There needs to be more respect for our police officers. There needs to be more law and order.
More respect for our police officers and more law and order coming from somebody from the Chamber of Commerce who pretty much has his thumb up the police officer's ass at all times. Fuck out of here, dudes. Like, how are you going to put the Chamber of Commerce up on TV to sit there and defend what's going on? Like, you're not even asking these kids what the hell happened, nothing. Just automatically otherizing human beings automatically.
Punks outside in the street, they don't care. They can do anything they want.
Punks outside in the streets. See, there's that punk thing that I was telling you about. They can go out in the streets and do anything they want. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, but that's all what you guys get to do. Because I'm pretty sure if there was a no parking zone, your rich elite ass would park there and say, oh, it's okay, I'll just pay for it if it does get towed. You do whatever the fuck you want because you can afford to get yourself out of any kind of trouble. These kids were just doing a trend. That's all they were doing. They didn't think they could do whatever they want. They got a little out of hand because they're kids. It's what they do. You think that my kid literally like got in trouble with the police and like, you know, got into a car with a kid that stole it from his parents and flipped the car and everything. And you're like, you know, my kid's not like the best kid in the world either, but you're not going to sit there and go around. I don't know. If I was the parents of one of these kids, I would have gotten all the parents together and been like, how fucking dare you, Chamber of Commerce? Like, fuck you guys. We're defund the Chamber of Commerce. Fuck it.
Midst of it all, shots
Yeah,
were
exactly.
fired
The
just
Chamber
after
of
9, leaving
Commerce.
2 teens injured. A 17-year-old boy was hit in the leg, and a 16-year-old boy was shot in the arm.
There were crowds in the streets, there were people yelling, there were police cars. So I used my running capability and we basically ran back to our hotel.
Margaret Vatum says she came to Chicago to see the ballet, but it was the scene in front of her that caused her to move quickly back to her hotel.
And then the person they interview on the streets is like this elitist lady, this old boomer who's like, I wanted to go see the ballet, but now I can't because a couple of ruckus children are messing with my front yard now. Like, it's just so boomer to me. So what? Maybe if you guys has treated our cities and our people a little bit better, none of these kids would be out there acting like, you don't like think that these kids acting like dumb people is not only because of internet, but because of generations, like the way that you treat them. Like, these kids don't give a fuck anymore. They know the world is going to shit. They know this is a dying empire and they know they're going to live through it and they're going to be part of it. They don't care. But you all act like it's like, oh my God, they're horrible children. They all need to go to like camp, like pearl clutching and shit. Goddamn boomers. It's nuts to me.
She's been to the city many times before, but feels uneasy after Saturday's event.
I am kind of nervous about coming to Chicago in warmer
there you go.
weather again.
Yeah, we just watched that with 2 videos from before. The one from before where the police officer shot a dude that was just answering his fucking door. It happens all the time. Yeah. Can't control themselves.
People seem to not be out acting like this, but it was scary.
Locals Stuart and Heidi Floyd say they only saw a large group of kids, but didn't see anything destructive happening.
When we walked by, it was a large group of kids, and they were just kids being kids. So we didn't see any of the vandalism or destruction.
Meantime, this isn't the first
just kids being kids. I understand. Yes, okay, there was absolutely vandalism, but this is kids. You get a group of kids together, like 100, 200 kids together, where they're just out there running amok. Yeah, eventually there's going to be a couple of people from that group that are the troublemakers. That's what happens. But you can't say that everybody was bad because a couple of troublemakers. That's like saying, you know, that the whole entire Black Lives Matter was bad because a couple people threw rocks, you know. So yeah. My offsprings are the best and so are yours. That's right. They're just kids. They're living their goddamn lives. So right, exactly. They obviously haven't had teenagers. That's exactly what I keep thinking. Like, these Chamber of Commerce dudes must have been just a bunch of incels that came together and you know, became a part of the Chamber of Commerce because they have nothing else better to do, and just don't have teenagers. Like, this is what teenagers do. Like, you don't think a lot of these parents are sitting there embarrassed as shit because their kids went and did that? Like, you know, there's a bunch of parents the next morning that are like, I didn't raise you like this. You know, come on.
Weekend police have responded to a massive group of teens. Hundreds took over 31st Street Beach Friday night, where a 14-year-old boy was also shot.
This is beautiful city. We do not want to see the city makes a world news again.
This afternoon, outgoing Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
I'm sorry, I feel really bad, but I need to hear that because I did not hear what he said, and I might have to turn on the captions for that.
Want to see the city makes a world news again.
This afternoon, outgoing Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot issuing a statement saying the city will not allow public spaces to become a platform for criminals.
What did he say?
The city makes a world news again.
This afternoon, outgoing Chicago
I
Mayor
don't know what
Lori
he said.
Lightfoot issuing a statement saying the city will not allow public spaces to become a platform for criminal conduct. She also says CPD leadership has assured
They're
her
not going to
that
let
they will make adjustments to
public spaces become a platform for criminal conduct. It was just a trend. It's all that it was a fucking trend. See, these guys will like sit there, these politicians like in Chicago will go there and make all these new laws because of some stupid little one-time trend. But you know, you actually have people doing really bad stuff, corporate CEOs, you know, minimum wage, lack of health care, corrupt police officers, all that shit, but you won't do anything but a couple of kids do a trend out in the city and make a little bit of chaos, and all of a sudden you need to start writing legislation about that. Like I said earlier, the same kind of people do the same thing here in America when their favorite sports ball team wins or loses. They'll go onto the street and start rioting. I've seen cars flipped over and lit on fire and trash and litter everywhere after a sports ball game. Now you don't see it on the news too much because the news decided to not show that because they didn't want people to think that they still riot and shit. So they'll have the news people sit inside sports bars during that time, but there's still riots and craziness on the streets after sports ball games. So that's okay, but kids wanting justice or kids wanting to do a trend or people wanting justice, protesting and rioting on the streets, I just don't understand. Like, you're telling me that the LA riots were wrong? Like, yeah, okay, so, you know, some bad stuff happened in the LA riots, you know, but the whole point of it was there's a point behind a lot of it, you know? Maybe this was just a trend. It doesn't mean that they need to start writing legislation. It's crazy to
address
me.
these teen trends as they head into the summer months. Natasha?
All right. Thank you so much for that report. Thank you for watching. Go to news.
No, absolutely. Punish these kids. If you got videotape of these kids lighting a car on fire, absolutely something needs to happen to these kids. Those specific kids. Not all of them at the entire riot, but those specific kids. Yes, absolutely. They need to have some form of punishment. Just like when my kid, you know, snuck out with her friend and they went and met up with a boy and the boy stole the car from his parents and they went on a joyride and they flipped and crashed the car. Yes, my kid got in trouble. She didn't go to like juvie or anything. She had to do classes around police officers and had to experience that. So yeah, absolutely. Punish these children, the children that did the wrong things. Absolutely. But I mean, if they're just running around on the streets having fun because of a trend, you can't go around and say and start making legislation through the lens of there's an uptick in violence in our area, because that's not what it is. It's just a bunch of punk kids. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It's just a bunch of kids being kids. So it's funny that people think that CEOs are any different than a public servant with just because public is in their name, right? You're a slippery slope, resetting the baseline. The new normal won't be peaceful, loving, and chill, right? No, I know. I know it. The Chicago Boys were a group of Chilean economic prominent around the 1970s and 80s, the majority of whom were educated at the Department of Economics of the University of Chicago. Interesting. The city make the war news again. I think that is what he said. I don't know. Oh, okay. The city make the war news again, or more news again. Probably maybe more news. Yeah, I'm not sure what. I feel bad for not understanding what he was saying. Let me see if we can back up to it again. Here we go.
Shot.
This is beautiful city. We do not want to see the city makes the world news again.
This afternoon, outgoing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he doesn't want the city to make them see the city make more news again. Because Chicago is in the news a lot. I mean, that's why I respect like Chicago Corner and what they're doing. Because if there's one city in this entire country that gets a lot of shit going on with them, is Chicago. They've dealt with a lot. You know, we might all think we're important here in California or Texas or Florida or New York. You know, all those places. We might think that they're, you know, we're important, but a lot of shit happens in Chicago. Chicago has been through a lot, so. I'm all right. Thanks. I know I try to, you all are really smart too. I might be doing a show on here at KRTD or whatever, but I don't think I'm anything different. I'm still learning things, and I know I'm still learning things. I know I'm not perfect in my thinking. And so I always try to be open to all all perspectives. Like I always say, I'm open to all perspectives. So yeah, if you got a different perspective or something to add on to what I think, please absolutely let me know. I'm here to listen for sure. I don't want you guys to all think just because I have a show that I'm super smart and I know everything, because I don't want that to be what I want you guys to think that I think of myself, because it's not. And a lot of people that do these shows, they come at you with, how, they talk about the issue or whatever, and it makes you think that, oh yeah, these guys are smart and they know everything. But if you start listening to different opinions and different sides, you end up finding out that that's just one opinion. It's actually just an opinion in one side of the story. So I'm always up for listening to all sides. Absolutely. MMT bad, Austrians good. Wait, why is MMT bad? MMT's not bad. MMT is not bad or good. MMT is just MMT. It's just a modern monetary theory is just an example of how money that's not backed by anything, the free floating fiat currency and the taxes and how the money actually works. Because a lot of people run around and say, like, my tax dollars pay for something, but and then you hear the news saying, like, Amazon and all these these corporate companies are getting subsidies, but subsidies is money. Like, you don't ever see, like when we're getting all these billions of dollars to Ukraine, you don't see America running around saying, hey, we need to tax you for this, and this, and this, and this, to help pay for this war. Because if they pretend like how, they never ask us for it, so how are they going to get the money for those things? So they can't go around and say that they have all this money backed up in a bank or something and we have a surplus, because we're trillions of dollars in national debt. So how are you going to say that they have our tax dollars and get our tax dollars to help pay for these things when they can't? But then they use the word subsidy, which, where's us paying the tax dollars for the subsidy part? So example of how Australian crassy persons got MMT is what is allowing them to print the money for war without selling bonds to pay for it. I'm pretty sure they're selling. I mean, I think they're still selling bonds as well. Kind of to just even it out, to keep ourselves from going into like a super inflation. I personally don't see the point in bonds. I really don't. Treasury bonds are just a pointless thing in my head. I don't understand why. It makes no sense. But yeah, state and local taxes are used for things federal taxes. Right. So then if they're not using our taxes, then that's pretty much, then they're pretty much creating money out of thin air, which what every sovereign country does. Every country that's sovereign nation does that. They create their own money out of thin air, and then they tax the people on it later. So that way the inflation, that national debt, doesn't get any bigger and we don't go into inflation. The debt kind of helps balance it out. It's like you print so much money and then there's so much money out there into the world, it's going to cause inflation. So you have to tax it back, to be able to keep that inflation from happening. Now, there's pictures from way back in the day before it became digital, because now everything's digital. So you can just go, okay, the America got taxed back, $7 trillion. So here's $7 trillion taken off the debt, hit 24 trillion minus 7 trillion equals whatever. And then that's our national debt now. Like, all you're doing is a subtraction with some keystrokes and stuff. But there is pictures back in the day of when we used to give out the money and then tax back, and it was all paper money. It was burnt. Like you could, there's pictures of our government, our treasury, our federal government burning cash after they taxed it back. So that way it can't get reused because of inflation. Like, that's how they used to have to do it. So, I mean, there's it's like, right. It's like, was I talking about it yesterday? It's like when people lie right in front of your face, it's really hard for Americans to see that. When you're being sneaky about it, people in America are like, oh, wait, what are you doing? Why are you being sneaky? But when you're doing it right in front of their face with like no holds bar, the Americans are like, what? I didn't see anything. There's nothing going on around here. I don't know what you're talking about. So that's kind of how that's MMT. There's your learning lesson of MMT for today. Bonds were a way for the government to generate money without raising taxes when we had sound money. Yeah. So from what I've learned from like back during the gold standard, because I'm still trying to fully grasp the aspect of treasury bonds. I still have a lot of questions, and I'm still very lacking in understanding of a lot, like the specifics and stuff. I mean, I've had hours and hours and hours of just talking on the phone with Ellis Winningham about MMT and treasury bonds. Bonds is like really for the last probably year and a half of what I've been trying to get my aha moment with it. And I have a little bit with like one of Stephanie Kelton's things, like her little video that she did explaining what a treasury bond is when it comes to explaining it. But it's still like that gave me the aha moment, but I don't understand the point of it. Like, what's the reason? Like, okay, macroeconomics says this is what treasury bonds are. Okay, Ellis, I brother, I get it. I understand what you're saying. What's the point? That's like nowadays, what's the point? Like, to me, okay, so from what I know of treasury bonds is like, okay, so the government gives out $100, all right, onto the government or out to the public, all right, out into the, ethos. Now, when it's time to tax back, they tax back like, so let's say $90, all right, out of that $100. So they tax back a lot of it. Now, with the treasury bond, what it can do is say, I want that $10 that's left over of that $90. The government says that I need that $10. You're a really, really rich person. Here's a bond. Here's a treasury bond of $10. You give us the $10. We'll give you this treasury bond. And then but you can't touch it for like the next 5 to 10 years, and it's going to gain you interest. And so when you get it back in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be more than $10. It's going to be $15. And people take that. They actually take that, like, as in that's something. I mean, I get it. It's free interest money. Okay, fine for the, for the really, really rich person. But what's that doing to our government? Like, this is supposed to be money that's, balanced, and an ecosphere that's balanced. If you take that $10 as a government and gives the bond to the person, and then it creates a $5 interest over the years, where does that $5 come from? Is that more money added to the, to our inflation, to the national debt? Like, you're just adding more shit just to benefit who? This person, this one single person who bought the bond, not you as a government. And then for second question, what are you doing with that $10 as the government? Are you giving it to Northrop Grumman? Are you giving it to Lockheed and all the rest of them? Like, these are the questions that I still don't have when it comes to, or the answers I still don't have when it comes to MMT. Like, these are like the little nitpicky microeconomic stuff that I really, really, really want to get into. Like, I understand why, like, I understand the process of how the treasury bond thing works. I just don't understand why the fuck we're doing it. What's the fucking point? Anyway, Norman, look at you up here with Bill Mitchell and shit, my MMT. You know MMT, Mr. Norman? Bill Mitchell, professor of economics and director of the Center of Full Employment, University of Newcastle in Australia, coined the term modern monetary theory in 2008. Yes, he did. Wait, was it Bill Mitchell that coined it? I thought it was that rich dude. He like has like bazillions of dollars. He's like super, super rich, and I thought he's the one that coined it. Now, because Bill Mitchell is, Bill Mitchell is a sweetheart. He's a sweet, sweet guy. He reminds me of Stephen Hale. Bill Mitchell does. Like, Bill Mitchell and Stephen Hale have the same type of personality. Stephen Hale is from Australia, I believe. They're just the sweetest, kindest people ever I've ever met in my entire life. What's wrong with MMT? All it does is describe the money in the US currency. We do not need treasury bonds. It is an artifact of days past. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so like, okay, you wanted to do it back in the day. I get it, but I don't understand the point of it now. It doesn't make any sense. But then when you hear like Stephanie Kelton getting interviewed, and they ask about this stuff, like, she'll explain what a treasury bond is and all that. And then she'll explain, like, it's not necessary, but it's beneficial. Like, okay, it's beneficial for who? For you people who have portfolios that want to do this? Because what you're doing is just ruining it for the rest of us. That's $10 that could have gone to the existence for the rest of the people in for everybody else in the country. But now what you're doing is you're just giving it to the government to do what with it? What are they going to do? What are they going to do with that $10? And then any of the created non-existent money that comes with the, whatever, I already blanked out on the word, interest on this bond is just going to benefit that person. So you're benefiting yourself as a government only with this, getting this $10 back, and you're benefiting this one person who gets this treasury bond with interest for the next 10 years. There's no benefit to society whatsoever, and that's pretty much what the reason and the point of the creation of the dollar was, or money was supposed to be, right? To kind of be like a mediator to help people be able to buy and sell things instead of having to do it through trade. Like, I have a skill, you have a skill, I can make you something that you want, you make me something that I want, and we trade it. But now you don't have to do that. You don't have to have a skill. You can just go to a store and buy a t-shirt without needing to know somebody who buys a t-shirt. So I understand the creation of the dollar is really, really important to help be a mediator, to be able to get things that you want and sell things that you want, so that way you can get what you want by the things that you've sold. I understand that. But this whole like bond thing, man, it just really, really screws with me. I just went on a rant about treasury bonds because I fucking hate them. MMT forces the people to use the government's currency and allows the government to allocate resources to places that they think will be best to spend the money, i.e. war. Very fucking true. And that's where I'm asking too, like that $10, like, okay, you know, with my example, like that $10 that they give the treasury bond to that really rich person, and the government keeps that $10. Where does that $10 go? Where does that extra money go? You're not paying off the national debt, or else we would not be in the national debt that we're in right now. So it can't be that, because technically with the $100 example, you would be $0 in national debt if you did it that way. So why are we so far into fucking national debt to the point where now we have inflation and they're raising interest rates, and not even like, and there's a supply and chain and supply demand and failures. It's just nuts right now. They literally turned this into something that could have probably been sound and easy and simple to do, and turned it into this huge complicated thing that's like, it looks like a Jenga tower after it's almost done. It's like you got one piece here, like the thing is being held up by fucking gum, okay? It's barely standing on its own. It's about to crumble. When the government controls the flow of currency, they have control of the markets. Same with banks. Yeah, true. If you have a good curiosity and likes to learn new things, yes, not being a nosy business. Yes, because I don't want to be the kind of person like all the rest of these YouTubers are out there talking like they know everything, and everything is the truth. Their truth is the truth, and it's not that way. There's so many truths out there. So yeah, the only three is no debt. The interest is accounted for when the money is created, i.e. when Congress passes. Oh, okay. So when they do that, wait a minute. So you're telling me when they write their, like on October 1st, when they do their yearly financial legislative bullshit, where they write the laws, you know, to get the money that they need every year. You're telling me that they even add into it, for the treasury bonds, they add in the interest to the money that is spent, so that way it's created with it? There's no national debt. The interest is accounted for when the money is created. Yeah. MMT is a form of Keynesian economics, as has been happening since 1913. Absolutely. The rich people still want the treasury bonds and the interest gained. Yup. Very, 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 very true. And that's the reason why we can't get rid of it. And that's why we have even Stephanie Kelton running around saying that it's, you know, it's still useful. So, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's well, it is, but it is a form of Keynesian economics. But it's simply a description of how our macroeconomic system operates, pretty much. Yeah. But there is like some Keynesian stuff in there. I know like a lot of Keynesian economic people really get into MMT. So do you listen or read Michael Hudson stuff? No, I don't. A parking garage in Manhattan collapsed. Jesus Christ. Are you serious? I don't read Michael Hudson, no, but I will if you send me some stuff. I love economics. I'll listen to a boring ass lecture for 3 hours because I love that shit. MMT does not force anyone to do anything. No, of course not. Use another form of currency and see how fast the government forces you to use their currency. Yeah, like what was going on with the whole cryptocurrency, that was almost something. I mean, they could have used it as a median if they could have gotten cryptocurrency out of the commodity status and had it be accepted as trade terms, kind of like what China's bank is doing right now with cryptocurrency, allowing it to be traded into their own, into yuan. I believe it's what's happening recently. That's, yeah, that's, you know, that was something that we could have created. But as you could see, the government in America was like, nah, you can't use that. We're not going to accept that here as a form of currency. It's going to be commodity only. So, you know, they tried with the cryptocurrency, but they can't get it out of the commodity status. So it's just stuck as a commodity. It's another object to buy. Sent me a breaking news on Facebook Messenger. Let's do it. Let's do it. Is it an article or a video? Okay, one dead in parking garage collapse in Lower Manhattan. Oh, Lordy. That's scary, Brandy. All right, here. We'll do this and then we'll get out of here. Thanks for the MMT talk today, you guys. That was awesome. I love a little MMT here and there.
We have 6 patients. There were 6 workers in the building at the time of the collapse. 4 of them have been transported to the hospital in stable condition. We have 1 patient that has died, and we have 1 patient that refused medical attention.
Oh.
This was an extremely dangerous operation for our firefighters. We responded to a call of a collapse in the building. We had firefighters inside the building conducting searches. The building was continuing to collapse. We made the decision to remove all our people from the building. Our robotics unit happened to be nearby. They were on scene very quickly. We deployed our robot dog into the building. They were able to give us video inside, and then we were able to fly our drones inside to conduct an assessment and conduct searches.
I put I'm gonna in the comment section, we need critical thinking. I'm gonna put my my Twitter handle in there, and then if you follow me like starting now, I'll know that that's you, and then I'll follow you back. That way you can send me stuff. So I'm gonna put it, I'm saying it before I put it in the comment section, so it gives a little time so you know what I'm doing and you don't lose it. So I'm gonna put my handle in here now, and then you can send me some stuff about it. I would love it. Hold on, let me put it in here. Okay, there we go. There it is. So parking garage on Ann Street in Lower Manhattan collapsed on Tuesday, killing 1 person. Pictures and video from the scene showed cars pancaked on top of one another and dust rising from the wreckage. The collapse appears to have sent rubble from the top deck down to the street levels. Mayor Eric Adams said in a news conference at the scene that at least 1 person was dead. He said 4 people were hospitalized, so that's where it happened right there. Fire department. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like it fell down right in this little section right here. So, fire department said it pulled emergency service workers out of the site because the concerns about the integrity of what was left of the structure. So the integrity of the structure was already bad, but there was cars on it. Like, come on, cities. Officials says they were deploying rescuers using tower ladders to look for victims, as well as a team with drones and a robotic dog. Building department inspectors were also investigating at the scene of the collapse, which occurred around 4 p.m. Eastern time, an agency spokesman said. Breaking story still going to be updated. Dang, that's crazy. I can't believe the New York Times let me read the whole thing. I'm in shock. Usually in New York Times and Washington Post and shit, they're like, nah, sorry, you got to pay. Wow. Well, that's still breaking news. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow if more stuff comes. That just looks like an infrastructure thing. Obviously, we definitely need some more better infrastructure for sure. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I got everything I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. I am done. I think I went through all of it. DeSantis, Robert, Boy, flooding, Chicago. Yeah, I got my whole list today, you guys. That means I really got to start working tonight. when I get off of here. Okay, cool. So tonight, Chicago Coroner is going to be on. That's 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, which would be 8:30 Eastern. That would be 7:30, I believe, Central. I don't know. Figure out the math. I can't figure it out. Yes, our money. Yeah, exactly. All of our money is going to infrastructure in Ukraine. Yes, thanks for coming. Comment on this video so I can respond here so other people who do just YouTube can see it. Okay, yeah. As soon as this video is done, I will go into the comment section and I'll put like, it'll be my Jimmy Saves World account. So I'll just put like, great show, thanks for everything today or something, and then just reply in that and I'll get the notification for it. If you're not on like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or anything, then if it's just YouTube, I can work with you on that. So then check that out tonight. That'll be at 5:30. It looks like Ed is going to be on for a solo show tonight, so I'm pretty sure that I think Jerry is still having internet problems because he's got some like weird ass internet. So it looks like Ed is going to be going on as a solo show tonight. So 5:30, that's going to be going. And then I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, probably same clothes because I won't be taking a shower because I'm being fucking lazy. No, just kidding. Oh, Lord. I'm going to hell. Our future education infrastructure is in heaven. That's awesome, Norman. Thank you for coming, Norman, and for showing up here. You're fucking awesome. I really enjoy you hanging out with us today. Staying with Steve Wolfbrand, Brandy, We Need Critical Thinking, Desert Mantis, Monsa West. Thank you guys for all coming. I really had a really good conversation with you all today. I'm really stoked about it. Nitram Case, we got Ed Heller in here. Brandy, of course. Peter is my first name. Thank you guys for being super talkative and hanging out with us. If you're a lurker, you're still cool too. Don't worry. I still love you for being a lurker. If you're a hater watching this, thanks for the view. And I will see you all tomorrow. Nice, bright, and early. And I hope you all have a really good day. I hope you get something done that you really want to do and you have fun and enjoy your day. And don't let the world beat you down. And that's it. Okay.